All right. Hello. The time is 9:47 a.m. May 18th, 2025. I am to report I was attacked with that chemical weapons gas, poisonous lethal gas, 2 more times since I reported the 3 from this morning. It was in the course of the last hour and a half at max. The last 2 were just brutal. One was about half an hour after I reported the one that they hit me with when I uploaded the YouTube. It's the same thing, like almost barfing everything in your stomach up. It is so fucking lethal and poisonous. Oh my God, these fucking humans here. Anyways, look, I gotta get over the shock and trauma of that and try to just keep reporting the facts here. And then it was everywhere, and it was in my room, and they were definitely targeting me, having fun again with their chemical weapons stockpiled and stored at their chemical weapons compound 6 blocks from the White House, 6 blocks from 2 different sitting presidents, Biden and Trump. Okay, and then in the last half hour, I was poisoned again with that same gas. They hit me in the bathroom that time, and my main room and my extra room. They had gassed every room I could possibly run in at that time. That was the most recent time. And I don't want to get stuck on how terrifying and painful and just horrific it is. Ever since then, there's been dead bodies, but there was dead bodies before that. Remember, I had to stand outside my bedroom door, breathing through my mouth, standing over a dead corpse stuffed under my floor. That has been stuffed in to my house from the house 1507. Okay, so there's been dead bodies, and now they're even worse. I had to take it's at least 1,000. We've got to keep count here. It's the 1,000th bath, quick bath, rinsing off just fast, with warm water. Oh God, it's so disgusting. Breathing the entire time through my mouth as I'm bathing over a dead body. It's either in the wall or stuffed under the toilet in that area I've described, because they do this all the time. Or it's literally somewhere underneath my bathtub. It's so disgusting. And it started to gush and gush and gush and gush as I had the water rushing from the faucet. So it's definitely affected by the pressure of the water. It's so horrendous here. The dead bodies are also detected once again today in the sink area, because I was doing some basic chores out there while I was being gassed, okay? So they were having their fun. I mopped the floor, I cleaned my toilet. I try to keep it as sanitary as I possibly can in this biological wasteland. There's lab rats running everywhere. I'm allowed to talk about it. They've been running everywhere for like 72 hours. They're like little pets. The one today keeps coming almost up to me. It goes to eat the cat food, and it sits and waits until it basically will let you pick it up. I hope that the heroes can just humanely capture these pet rats, because that's what they are. They're pet rats. It thinks I'm its owner. It's in its new home. It's all that's going on in that rat's mind. But it's trained to do things with the IEDs. I've been here, witnessed it 1,000 times. I know exactly what these rats are for, okay? So no, I don't let it get in my room. I keep the door closed. And that is all I'm allowed to talk about with the pet rats. They're lab rats. It's horrendous. My yellow cat, I can talk about it. I got to give him a name. Let's give him a name, Alex, right now. We need to give him a better name, but he's my cat. I have 4, 3 of which are lab cats. And they have some sort of chip in them. It's kind of the same nature of weaponry as with the lab rats. So the evil military started all that. The mafia and other militaries, the U.S. military that you see in the paper, the Saudi Arabian military, Vladimir Putin's Russian military that after these many years is now crack addicted, they ran it over. They took it over. Okay, that's why there's these different groups having armed conflict literally on S Street. That's why I am trapped in my room right now. Well, I was, but I can come out, but I got to be really careful. These dudes pop up. A lot of them are Russian, Japanese, US. They're fucking dangerous as fuck. I'm never told about any of it. I'm just blind and oblivious, which is my safety. When they crawl under the floors, the U.S., the Saudi, this crowd, the crack-addicted Russians. Now, the good Russian military does not smoke crack, okay? One of the most worst militaries in the world you ever want to fight. Even the crack-addicted Russians are fucking horrendous. And the ones that come over here from Russia, they say they're Ukraine, they fight with Ukrainian. They tell everyone what to do. They're fucking horrendous. I'll be trapped in my room. It's almost the same, but it's not as bad. But anytime these groups come here and start digging under the floor, everything else that I'm not going to get sidetracked with describing, I mean, is outright fucking combat I witness. That's when you find out, all of a sudden pop up, here comes the Japanese, here comes the U.S., here comes the Russia fucking even military. I mean, how could I forget? Because I can't come out. I go bonkers. I cannot leave my room for my dear life. Half the time I'm stuck in the chair. Right before I refilmed this, I was sitting here, don't talk, don't walk, whole shit again. The whole place reeks of a dead body. So back to that, I was bathing in a corpse. I made sure I washed as fast as I could, got as clean as I could. I'm very good at getting clean. I'm breathing like this through my mouth the whole time. This is like the 1,000th time I've done this. You go, you make sure, because, oh God, if you accidentally breathe through your nose, it is the most horrific shit you ever want to fucking go through. And it's so fucking close to you. It's just this dead fucking body. It's of these Department of Mental Health. They keep coming. Saudi Arabian military. They never leave. They have a sanctuary, a terrorist sanctuary. It's Hamas. It's freaking Hezbollah. All of them have been here. Ukrainian military, Ukrainian Eastern Mafia. Fucking all of them have been here. I've seen with my eyes tons of them running around, but I'm forbidden from saying that. They bring their women in it all the time. All their women are involved in hands-on fucking combat. If anyone's followed this, I'm out of that. I'm oblivious, and I hide in my fucking room. And I start tweeting fucking recipes. And it's not, you know what, I find it funny though. I'm glad I do that. It's not that I'm some sort of pussy. It's not that I'm some sort of victim. It's that this is reality, dude. I cannot get involved in that. This is why you get women and children out of your combat. They don't understand that. I can testify to this. These scumbag Americans, these scumbag Saudi Arabian military, these scumbag Saudi Arabian terrorists, these scumbag Hamas terrorists, these scumbag Hezbollah terrorists, name it. They don't understand that. And their travels into Africa, they'll drag their fucking women into it. Whoever wants to sign up with the Saudi Iranian fucking warriors, they drag their women and their children into it. And then the next thing you know, the whole fucking town is dead. Because that's when they find themselves in actual combat with really scary fucking military people that nobody in their right mind would ever want to engage with unless you're one of them. Okay, and that's how a real military works. They have structure. They don't send their new guys, their young guys off to fight certain battles. They know what they're doing, and that's what I say, scholars. They send them in certain segmented groups, and they win the battle, and they get their new guys to do certain things, and they don't bring their women and their kids to pack along the machine guns and to sit in cars and try to play with fucking IEDs. That's suicide, dude. That's fucking terrorism. Those are militaries you'll find in Latin America, guerrilla militaries, just real idiotic, moronic fucking militaries, okay? That what they really are is they're terrorist groups, but they claim to be a military. Like Cuba and Haiti are hosting all these fucking idiots. All those idiots that want to say they're Mexican military that just got whacked in New York. I hate to use that term, but however I talk is however I talk. They all hide in Cuba with the deranged freak that decided to say he was a communist. This is how it works, folks. Ever since the 50s, if the United States would not have been so fucking terrified of communists, we could have avoided Vietnam, crushed the Viet Cong, and we could have had a country like China or Russia go right into Cuba, take Castro out, and put very rational, nice people in that government, and Cuba would be a different place, and the course of history would never have happened. All that Cuban weapons crisis, all that would never have happened. Okay? They make Russia look like the villain with the Cuban weapons crisis that happened in the 50s. All that Russia and China do is wait for these stupid, moronic fucking countries like Vietnam and Cuba to collapse, and then they move in, God willing, God is great, and they put in a decent government. So what if it's communist? So what? Why doesn't countries like NATO, NATO, and the USA with their little cannibals learn something? Learn about a real military that just fucking kicked your ass. Learn about not going on the news. Learn about being covert. Learn about not telling everybody your fucking secret missions. Learn about secrecy. Learn about code. Some of the code of the Russian and Chinese military is you do not chase around women. You're not men. You're a terror group claiming a military. Who's giving you these weapons? Go after the people giving them the weapons. And you know who has always been in the eyes of Russia, in the eyes of China, in the eyes of these governments who have real militaries? The USA, saying, oh, they're military. Oh, who was giving the communist weapons? A little bit of Russia. The communists in Cuba were basically isolating themselves, okay? A little bit of Russia, but that was for the I don't remember the word, it's not espionage, the counter something reason to crush Castro. They wanted to crush him. You know why these countries like Castro and Vietnam ever prevailed? Why? Because of the organized crime triad, because of the Latin drug cartels, these fucking renegade fucking weirdos that wanted to claim communism hooked right up with the mob. And that's what's happening in the USA. And what did they do in the USA? They started cannibalizing and then going on TV. Okay, that's how demented the fucking Americans were. And that's what you're going to read in your history books. That's what you're hearing right now. That's what you're reading right now in your history columns on my account. You're reading history, okay? The Americans, historical fact, decided to take up some sort of crazed form of democracy in the name of white nationalism. And what did they do while they did that? Well, they were tyrants, rampaging, arming all these fucking terror groups. What did they do? They cannibalized. It's in your paper documented columns of history. You can't rewrite history, no matter how great you think you are. History always rears its ugly head. Okay, and there ain't no white nationalists taking over, saying they're white master race, and they're gonna write fucking history. It ain't happening. Okay, I just took my 1000th bath with a dead body somewhere near me. And you know what I said? I prayed. I did the sign of the cross, and I prayed, God, give me strength. And I spoke to myself. I said, Heidi Granger, be strong. I kept breathing through my mouth and scrubbing my armpits with really hot water. I said, Heidi Granger, this will not ruin your life. You're going to be the same person. And I gave myself some positive affirmations, and I got the fuck up out of that bathtub after I was clean, and I kept breathing through my mouth. And then I heard when I was coming out of my bathtub, something happened downstairs on floor 1. I was like, oh God, these fucking maniac cops, fucking maniac, Department of Mental Health, they're coming in, they're gonna arrest her. I don't know what it was, but it caused me to look. And then my angel said, get in your room. Stop staring down the stairs. Staring down the stairs, stark naked. Yes, what it's doing is stark naked looking down the stairs. Staring down the stairs, dripping wet, stark naked. Sorry, folks, I know that's a little improper. Isn't what you need to do. What you need to do after you heard that is get in your room. And I'm scared. I'm like drying off. I'm thinking, God damn, these people never stop trying to barge in the house. So I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a lunatic ISIS bomb-making murderer in my yard. I don't know if it was someone trying to come to the porch. I don't know if it was someone getting their ass kicked, more combat in this house. I just don't fucking know. That's the whole name of the game. I don't fucking know here. Okay? What you're seeing with all these Christians in the United States is just simply this. In America, on history columns, the white power, white Nazis rose up and claimed to be Catholics and Christians. What they are is religiously driven terror group now. That's all they are. Let's be factual about this, okay? Jesus and Mother Mary are not telling them to kneel on the ground and pray for Donald Trump, pray for Joe Biden, pray for the white soldiers in their white Ukrainian army to make it home safely. That is not what Jesus and Mother Mary are praying for, okay? Jesus and Mother Mary are sending those Christians to hell. They're terrorists. Okay? Those people know where they are. They know what was happening here yesterday. Yesterday there was nonstop into the night. It never stopped. Fucking when I woke up at 4, they were still doing it. Helicopters circling like I've described. I can't talk about the good military, and today I can't do any more testimony of the other stuff and things I've seen the helicopters do. It's much more than what I described previously. The military action here is so huge. You'd have to be deaf and blind. So all those little Christians for the Christian Catholic group know what they're doing, and all those little Christian groups coming here who are with that Saudi Arabian TV boy, Pentagon boy, and who are with Donald Trump know what they're doing, and it ain't Mother Mary and it ain't Jesus telling you to do it. Okay, little Christians, you're religiously driven terrorists. Remember this, America. Why did Stalin go after all of the churches? Ask yourself this. Look around in your country and figure it out for yourself. That's the learning lesson today. I want you to figure it out. And come tell me what you think and we'll talk about it. All right, that's all I'm allowed to say. Dead bodies, IEDs, everywhere, every day. Yesterday was rancid. And I want to make a correction. And then I have to get off this camera app. When I stepped out of my room yesterday and I smelled the IED, chemical explosive weapons everywhere, it was a 1 through 5, it was a 5 in my bathroom, in my hallway. You go down the stairs, it was 4. You go to the front door, it was 5. I misquoted by saying it was 4. When it's 5, it burns your nose hairs. When it's 5, it gives you a migraine. When it's 5, you get lightheaded. When it's 5, you're like, you say out loud, holy shit, what the fuck? Excuse my French, Jesus, please forgive me. When it's level 5, you're smelling a chemical explosive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's how you know. And it was so bad, okay? It turned down to level 4 by the time I saw the lady with her baby and all the screaming, yapping Washington, D.C. civilians. Laughing and partying, okay? All right, goodbye.